Also, an abrupt ending, Tommy. Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victorious Hockey Company, and the very active Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. This is the Junior Hockey Morning Show. Today is Friday, October 20th, 2023. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Hopefully this morning you're watching live. If not, you're watching in the afternoon. Maybe you're watching us at night, listening on your phone, at work, wherever you are. Hope that you are about to have an absolutely great weekend of hockey. But first, the 5 signs the team is dysfunctional. A lot of that going on right now, aren't there? Successful hockey teams don't happen randomly. They are the result of strong coaching who lead by example and build healthy habits into each team's dynamic. But sometimes things happen outside of the coach's control, and some problems are harder to spot than others. A lack of diverse perspectives on any team, for example, means a team may get too comfortable to be creative. Junior hockey should be about development. Youth hockey should be about development. But all too often, since the coaches' careers are tied to wins, they go into these elaborate systems that actually retard development. When you are playing a pure systems-based game, kids tend to get caught up in the what? There's not much going on. I don't have any room to be creative. We see this at AAA, at 16s, at 18s. We especially see it in the prep schools. Don't really understand how a prep school can ask a parent to shell out $70,000 and then put the kids into a rigid system where there's no creativity, where there's no development. And that leads to a dysfunctional culture. What are some signs your team could be nearing dysfunction? If you can recognize the symptoms of the problem, you can take steps to get your team back on track. Number 1, communication breakdown. A breakdown in communication is a clear sign of team dysfunction. It can manifest itself into private conversations, low morale, decreased engagement, and even locker room bullying. See it all the time, especially in the early months of the season. The first step a coach must take is to correct the course, is to gain a clear understanding of challenges and the players. Once any underlying issues are addressed, team building strategies can help restore cohesion. Look at these kids are coming from all over the country. You come together, you're in a new town, new place. A lot of times, probably 60%, 70% of the roster is brand new. And the alphas in the room will start to establish the pecking order. Older guys trying to assert themselves, trying to one-up last year's group. And that just doesn't work anymore, does it? Number 2, absence of trust kind of falls into that. Trust is the foundation of all successful teams, and the absence of trust is a billboard on the road to dysfunction. Teams that don't trust each other assume negative intentions, dread spending time together, and don't ask for help from each other. Coaches can start cultivating trust by creating a culture of vulnerability, rewarding honesty, and most importantly, leading by example. This goes back to the 1, when you have the cliques and you have certain guys hanging out there, the veterans or the big guys, you have the young guys coming in, trying to make their place, and the locker room becomes completely a mess. Trust is the first thing to go. When you don't like the guy across the stall from you, you're not going to trust him. So it's understandable. Number 3, unresolved conflict. Players from different cultures are in backgrounds are not always going to get along. However, they don't seem to be working it through and are holding on to resentments. It will lead to a failure to perform in games. Absolutely. If you guys can't gel, if the culture in the room is you're going out of the rooms, out of the rank in 2s and 3s and not in 4s and 5s, you got a problem. Too many clicks. Some signs to watch for: missing practices, gossiping, forming of cliques, complaining, and subpar performance in games. Coaches need to be watching for early warning signs and intervene as necessary. Number 4, this is common, a mass exodus of talent. If your player turnover is very high, something is dysfunctional within a team. It can mean there is a lack of trust, the culture is oppressive, or the team is just not competitive. Create a formalized exit interview process to capture the sentiments of each exiting player, and use this data to create change within your organization. It's very important, coaches. Talk to those guys on the way out the door, figure out what happened. Schedule regular meetings with your current roster and assess the needs and build engagement. Very important. Last, but we see it already. We're 10 games into the season for some leagues. Withdrawal. As teams turn dysfunctional, players start to withdraw, often before they even aware they're doing it. They're just not as invested in the process of the outcome of the game. A coach who sees less effort, enthusiasm, and communication needs to re-engage the team. Help players see how they each strengthen the team. Be generous with positive feedback. Look, if you're outmanned purely, and we have a problem with this for one of the teams that we work with closely, is that they're very much younger than the other teams in the league. In the league full of 19 and 20-year-olds, that's the norm. Probably 80% of the league's 19 and 20-year-olds. Outside of this one team, their average age is just over 18. So they're getting hammered, especially on the road. So what do? Work. But instead, some of the kids are starting to disengage a little bit. They're laughing after the losses, not taking it too seriously, and that is a recipe for disaster. Get it together, boys. All right, that's it for today. Slow down, Tommy. Enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day in hockey.